Have you ever felt like you're living, but only just existing? Everything around you seems normal. You go to work, eat your meals, reply to messages, but inside there's a nameless emptiness. You used to be praised for being smart, capable, the gifted one in the eyes of many. But one day you realize no matter how much you've accomplished, you still don't truly feel whole. You don't know why you feel so disconnected, why it's so hard to connect, to feel joy, or especially to love yourself. You've tried using logic to fix your emotions, but the more you analyze, the more you feel stuck. If that's ever been you, you're not alone. Many of us grew up being the smart kid, only to struggle silently as adults. Not because we lack ability or knowledge, but because we were never taught how to heal from the inside out. And that journey can begin here in these quiet, reflective words, each holding a small piece of truth to guide you home to yourself. These 100 reflections are not hollow mantras. They won't tell you to be perfect. They will simply whisper what you may have forgotten, that you are already worthy of beginning again at any moment. So read slowly, breathe deeply, and give yourself the chance to live fully as you've always deserved. As children, many smart kids grew up surrounded by endless praise. They were seen as outstanding, standing out among their peers. Gradually, intelligence became their core identity, not just a skill, but something that defined their entire self-worth. The danger started when self-worth was attached to being smart, because once people recognized you for easy success, you developed a false belief that if I am smart, everything should always be easy for me. As you grow up, life is no longer simple. You face challenges, your first failures, and instead of seeing them as normal, you panic. You think maybe you are not as smart as you used to be. And the fear of losing your self-worth starts to creep in. To avoid the feeling of failure, you begin to withdraw. You only choose tasks you are sure you can excel at. You avoid new opportunities where you might make mistakes or fail, and your world becomes smaller and more limited over time. This shrinking does not just limit your life experiences, it also robs you of real chances to connect with others. You stop joining group activities, you stop trying new things, you stop opening your heart to risky but rewarding experiences, and little by little you feel left behind by the world. The more you withdraw, the more you feel different. But instead of facing the loneliness, you start to create a story in your mind that you are too different, too deep, too intelligent to connect with others. You comfort yourself by saying it's not that you're lonely, it's that no one can understand you. This is when defensive arrogance forms a way to protect yourself from the pain of abandonment, but at the same time, it builds an invisible wall between you and the world. You no longer truly open up. You no longer allow yourself to be vulnerable or imperfect in front of others. Thus, you become someone who analyzes emotions rather than feeling them. You understand others with logic. You can read thoughts, predict actions, but deep down you feel empty because understanding does not replace truly connecting. Intelligence helps you succeed in analyzing problems, but it cannot heal loneliness. There is no logical answer to the question, am I good enough? Because that is a question of emotions, not reasoning. To start changing, you need to accept that your worth does not come from how smart you are. Your worth comes from your willingness to keep growing, to keep opening your heart, to keep living authentically. You do not need to be the best to deserve love. You just need the courage to step forward even when you feel not good enough. The first step in the healing journey is daring to let go of the label of being the smart kid, no longer attaching your self-worth to intelligence, but building it on courage, perseverance, and sincerity. You do not need to always be good. Start participating in experiences you have never dared to try, even if you know you might fail, even if you know you will be clumsy and awkward, because every time you accept trial and error, you are expanding your world a little bit more. You are growing a little bit more. Allow yourself to be lost without judgment. Allow yourself to slow down without shame. Allow yourself to feel foolish, vulnerable, imperfect, and still move forward. Also, learn to connect with others through honesty, not calculation. Not by impressing, analyzing, or controlling, but by being sincerely present. Let conversations flow naturally. Let your heart be comfortable making mistakes, because only then can you truly feel connected. Remember, you do not need to prove you are excellent to deserve to be here. You are worthy simply because you are human. A human being striving to live, striving to connect, striving to grow every day, and that alone is enough. There is a simple but hard truth. No matter how smart you are, no matter how hard you try, there will be times when you fail. There will be times when you get lost. There will be times when you feel small and helpless in this vast world. But instead of seeing it as proof that you are not good enough, see it as proof that you are truly living. Only those who dare to step out of their comfort zones know what it means to fall, know what it means to hurt. And only those people truly understand what it means to grow. Remember that the people you admire, the ones you think always succeed effortlessly, have also experienced moments of deep self-doubt, have also spent sleepless nights filled with fear and uncertainty. The only difference is they chose to keep going even when they were scared. Growing up is not about moving from one victory to another. Growing up is about learning to endure moments of being lost, learning not to quit when no one is clapping, learning to love yourself even when you have not achieved anything remarkable. Every clumsy step you take, every time you dare to try knowing you might fail, every silent tear you shed is quietly building a stronger, more genuine and freer you each day. There will be days when you feel completely lost. There will be days when you wonder if you are doing the right thing. There will be moments when you look around and feel like you are falling far behind others. On those days, remember that life is not a race. Every journey has its own rhythm. Some move fast, some move slow, some turn left, some go straight. No one is forcing you to follow the same path. You have the right to slow down. You have the right to try and fail. You have the right to change your mind, start over and seek new things. There is no pre-drawn map for your journey, and that is the true beauty of life. Do not be afraid of being different. Do not fear falling behind others, because every slow, steady step you take, every pause you make to understand yourself more deeply, is another stone laid for a stronger future. Trust that you do not need to race against anyone. You only need to be honest with yourself, patient with your journey, and never give up the belief that you are moving forward, no matter how slow your steps may seem. There is a profound lesson that smart kids need to relearn. As adults, true worth does not come from how many people recognize you. True worth comes from being able to stand firm within yourself, even when no one applauds, even when no one sees. You are not a product that needs a label of excellence from others. You are a living being with inherent value simply by existing, whether you succeed or fail. Whether you are recognized or forgotten, you are still worthy of love and respect. Let go of the expectation that you must always be special. Allow yourself to be ordinary, because in that ordinariness, you can experience, explore, make mistakes, love, and learn, and that is the fullest way to live. When you are no longer obsessed with proving you are special, you finally become free. Free to try and fail. Free to discover new parts of yourself. Free to live a life that does not require anyone's permission. And then you will realize it is precisely when you stop trying to stand out and start living most authentically that your inner light shines the brightest, and the right people will naturally find their way to you without you having to force anything. Learn to love the small progress you make each day. You do not need to take giant leaps. Just understanding yourself a little more each day, being a little braver each day, being a little more patient with yourself each day, that is already a victory. Do not underestimate small changes, because those changes are what truly last. One positive thought every morning, one brave choice every afternoon, one act of self-forgiveness every night. Gradually, you will rebuild yourself from the inside out. When you start the healing journey, there will be times when you feel like you are moving backward, times when the more you try, the more tired you feel. Remember, healing is not a straight line. Healing is an upward spiral with moments of forward and backward, but always moving toward the light. There will be days when you stand strong like a mountain. There will be days when you are fragile like a flower. Both are normal. Both are worthy of love because you are human, not a machine. Be gentle with yourself. Embrace your imperfections as part of your journey. Forgive the stumbles, the mistakes, the moments of weakness, and keep moving forward. Because as long as you are still moving, you are already winning. On the journey back to yourself, do not expect someone to hold your hand the entire way. There will be stretches you must walk alone, but it is exactly those moments that teach you true strength does not come from relying on others. True strength comes from daring to stay with yourself, even when everything around you falls apart, even when no one stands beside you. When you stop seeking salvation from outside, when you stop hoping someone will rescue you from the emptiness, you will realize something miraculous. You are the one you have been waiting for all along. You do not need to be saved. You only need to be reminded that inside you, there is always light. There is always strength. There is always courage. Sometimes you just forget. And one day you will stand in front of the mirror, look into your own eyes and smile because you will know. No matter how the world changes, no matter who comes or goes, you will never abandon yourself again. Start building your own life, not to prove anything to anyone, not to compete with anyone, but simply so you can be proud when you look back. Choose the dreams that make your heart beat faster. Pursue the things that make your eyes light up, even if someone laughs at you, even if someone thinks you are crazy, because this is your life, not theirs. On that path, there will be times when you stumble, times when you want to give up. But remember, there is no worthwhile journey that does not demand perseverance. Turn every scar into a part of the story you are writing. Let every pain become the soil where your compassion grows, because those who have hurt can love more deeply, and those who have lost can truly appreciate the simplest things. Walk forward with a quiet pride. No need for noise, no need for recognition. Just knowing you are living a life you can hold your head high for. On this journey, remember that not everyone will understand you, not everyone will support you, and that is completely normal. You do not need everyone to accept you. You only need a few who truly see you. A few kindred souls, people who do not need you to prove anything, only for you to be yourself. Let rejection be a natural filter, helping you keep only the relationships that truly matter. Those who leave are not a loss. They simply make room for those who are better suited to walk alongside you. Thank those who turned their backs on you. They taught you that your worth is not based on others' approval. Thank those who did not believe in you. They made you learn to believe in yourself more fiercely than ever. And above all, thank yourself for not giving up, for continuing to move forward, for choosing to believe that the light within you deserves to shine even when the world outside sometimes seems dark. True growth is not about becoming perfect. True growth is about daring to acknowledge your hidden corners, daring to face your wounds, and daring to love yourself even when you are still imperfect. Learn to listen to the small voice inside, not the noisy demands of the world, not the pressure to succeed immediately, but the gentle whisper of your heart reminding you to be patient, to trust, to keep going. There will be days when you feel like you are falling behind. There will be days when you feel like you are achieving nothing, but in reality, the very fact that you are still trying, still not giving up is already something extraordinary. Do not judge yourself based on speed. Judge yourself based on courage. The courage to continue, the courage to be honest with yourself, the courage to not give up hope even when hope feels fragile. Remember, the journey to becoming a better version of yourself is not a race. It is a pilgrimage where every step, every fall, every rise holds sacred meaning. True freedom does not come from achieving everything. True freedom comes from no longer being controlled by the fear of failure. You know you might lose and still be okay. You know you might get lost and still be worthy of love. Train yourself to get up faster after every fall. No blaming, no self-criticizing, no hurting yourself further. Simply dust yourself off. Learn the lesson and keep moving. Know that no pain is meaningless. Every tear, every fall, every lonely moment is quietly shaping you into a deeper, stronger person. Treat yourself the way you would treat the person you love most. Be gentle with broken dreams. Be patient with small hopes. Be forgiving with every stumble. Because in the end, you do not need to become someone else to be worthy. You only need to become the most authentic version of yourself. And that is the most beautiful victory in this life. Remember that no one truly knows what they are doing. From the beginning, we are all learning how to live while living. No one has a perfect plan ready, and that is completely normal. True intelligence is not about never making mistakes. True intelligence is about knowing how to get up faster after each mistake, knowing how to learn from failures and using those lessons to walk more steadily. Treat every day as a new opportunity, an opportunity to start again. An opportunity to love more, an opportunity to forgive yourself, an opportunity to be a little braver. Remind yourself, no step forward is ever too small. As long as you are moving forward, as long as you keep the flame in your heart alive, you are already doing very well. And no matter how chaotic the world outside may be, always keep a peaceful sky within you, a place where you can return, a place where you are allowed to be vulnerable, a place where you are allowed to simply be yourself without any mask. Understand that you do not always need to have the answers right away. Some questions in life can only be answered by time and experience. Allow yourself to sometimes be uncertain, sometimes be confused, and sometimes simply not know what to do next. That is not failure. It is simply a natural part of the journey. Sometimes the biggest step you can take is not to rush forward, but to dare to stay with yourself in the emptiest and most uncertain moments. Do not force yourself to always be strong. Do not pretend you are okay when you are breaking inside. True strength is daring to admit you need time to heal, and believe every wound will eventually heal, every winter will eventually pass, every darkness will eventually give way to light, as long as you are patient with yourself. Remember that the days when you feel the weakest, the days when you want to give up the most, are often the days when you are closest to a breakthrough. When everything feels heavy, when you feel drained, slow down, breathe deeply, and remember that resting is also part of fighting. You do not have to always be strong. You do not have to always win. As long as you do not abandon yourself, as long as you keep holding on to the small light inside, you are already winning in your own way. Be brave enough to keep walking even when you are not sure where you are heading, because sometimes the map is not drawn beforehand. It is created by the steady steps you take. And remember, falling is not the end. Falling is simply a reminder that you are moving, and only those who dare to move have a chance to reach where they truly belong. Allow yourself to change. You do not have to stay loyal to outdated versions of yourself. You have the right to grow, the right to change your dreams, the right to start over anytime you want. You owe no one an explanation for choosing to grow. You do not need permission to live differently. You only need to be honest with yourself and move forward with your whole heart. There will be people who do not understand your changes. There will be people who miss the old version of you, but do not let that hold you back. You are living your life, not the life of other people's expectations. Be proud of the journey you are on, even if it is rough, even if it is slow, because every step forward, no matter how small, is still a step toward the person you are meant to become. And in the end, remember, you do not need to be perfect to deserve happiness. You deserve happiness right in your own incompleteness, awkwardness, and growth. Accept that there will be days when you do not see your progress, but that does not mean you are not moving forward. Some changes happen silently, like seeds sprouting underground before reaching toward the sky. Be patient with your own growth process, because there are no shortcuts to anything lasting. Everything truly valuable takes time to build, and you are no exception. Focus on planting seeds every day. Plant good habits, plant positive thoughts, plant kindness, and you will be amazed to see your life bloom when you least expect it. Do not compare your journey to others, because you are not on the same path, not starting from the same place, and not aiming for the same dreams. Remind yourself you are doing well. As long as you are still trying, as long as you still believe in your path, everything will eventually bloom at the right time. Remember, you do not have to wait until you are perfect to be loved. You deserve love even while you are unfinished, even while you are healing, even while you are still figuring out your path. Allow yourself to savor every small moment. A quiet afternoon, a warm hug, a gentle glance from a stranger. These are the little miracles that life offers. Do not wait until everything is perfect. To feel grateful, be grateful even when things are messy, because gratitude is the key that opens the door for happiness to slip into every corner of your life. Focus on the present. The past is only a lesson. The future is still unwritten, but the present is the precious gift you are holding in your hands. And every day when you wake up, remind yourself, no matter how yesterday was, today is still a new opportunity to live, to love, and to move closer to the person you want to become. Learn to forgive yourself for the mistakes you made when you did not know better. Understand that the past cannot be changed, but the way you treat yourself today can change everything. Trust that no matter how difficult the present feels, everything is quietly rearranging itself to bring you where you are meant to be. Be patient, because the most beautiful things often take longer than you think. Always keep your heart soft, no matter how much life tries to hurt you. Gentleness is not weakness. Gentleness is the greatest strength when you choose to love in a world that can sometimes be cold. Dare to dream big dreams, even if others think you are unrealistic. Even if you sometimes doubt yourself, remember that every great thing in this world started as a dream that once seemed impossible. And on that journey, do not forget to enjoy each step. Love the journey itself, not just the destination, because in the end, it is the journey that makes you grow and shine. Remember that no one else is responsible for your happiness. Happiness is not something someone gives you. Happiness is a gift you create for yourself every single day. Allow yourself to live authentically with your emotions. Cry if you need to laugh out loud. If you are joyful, stay silent. If your soul needs rest, you do not need to apologize for your feelings. Always stay open to learning from the smallest things a child can teach you. Simple joy an elder can teach you the lesson of patience, and often the deepest truths are hidden in the simplest moments. Treat your dreams like precious seeds. Nurture them every day, even with the smallest actions, because no seed blooms overnight. But those who are the most patient always harvest the most vibrant fields. And finally, believe that you deserve a full and beautiful life, not because you have proven anything, but simply because you are you, and your very existence is already a miracle worth cherishing. We have reached the end of this journey, and if you have read this far, give yourself a big, warm hug, because you have not just traveled through words, you have walked through the truest slices of human emotion, the confusion, the wounds, the quiet dreams we sometimes hesitate to name on the journey. Of growing up, no one truly has a ready-made map. We all learn how to walk while walking, learn how to fall and stand up more gracefully each time. Maybe today you have not achieved everything you wished for. Maybe you still doubt, still fear, still feel lost. But as long as you are still moving forward, you are already stronger than so many who chose to stop. Remember, greatness does not come from loud victories, but from the quiet choice to keep going when no one is cheering. Believe that the light you carry inside, no matter how small, can still light up a whole sky. As long as you do not give up, and if one day in the busyness of life you feel tired and want to give up, remember this small reminder: you do not need to be perfect to be worthy. You only need to be honest, brave, and patient with yourself. And just like that, you are already a miracle. Thank you for daring to live, for daring to dream, and for not giving up on yourself.